Hello guys, it's Ryan Ho back with another video. Today I want to review the D90se and the topping A90 together. Now I've actually owned the topping A90 for a very long time. I think I've had it for like a year and a half by now. And it's been my main amplifier, what I've been using to do all my reviews and what I've been listening to music all the time. So I know the topping A90 like the back of my hand. And honestly, this device, the reason why I bought it was because it was a balanced amplifier, which is true differential. So essentially it rejects noise and makes your music sound cleaner and clearer, puts out a lot of power. So it actually puts out 7.6 watts of power into 16 ohms. So basically it could run any headphone. So when I bought it, I didn't even own this HE6, but you know, I thought one day if I bought an HE6 or something hard to drive, I would have the power to drive these headphones. So that was the second reason why I bought it. And then another reason why I bought it was actually the inputs of this device are very good. So if you look at it, it actually has XLR, so you can plug in balance, right? But then it also has a Pentacon, so you could plug in the 4.4. So I like the option of having both connections because I think 4.4 is just more convenient. And I just like how this amplifier had both of those connections, which was really nice. And then the last reason why I bought the topping A90 is that the topping A90 has really low distortion, but what I really hear is that when you plug in something like an IEM, so like in earbuds, right, you don't hear any noise. So this thing can put out 7.6 watts of power, but when you plug in something very sensitive that doesn't require a lot of power, like an IEM, it doesn't make any noise. And that's really amazing because there's a lot of amplifiers that put out a lot of power, but they also are quite noisy with things like the IEMs. But this thing can basically run anything and everything. And that's really impressive because there's not many devices out there, if any I can think of, honestly, that could do that as well as this can. So this is probably what I think is a good device, versatile device. And for someone like me who also reviews headphones, I can plug in anything in here and know that it works, which is really nice, right? So now let's talk about the D90se. So I've had this for quite a while too now. This is actually sent out to me by APOS Audio. So I want to thank APOS Audio for sending this out for review. As always, you guys should buy from APOS because they have a 2-year warranty. I think that gives an advantage over the competitors who only have a 1-year warranty. So I think that's a great thing that they do. Anyways, the D90se uses a flagship DAC, which is the ES Saber 9038. And that is their best DAC they have. Now, I actually have the SMSL SU-9, which uses the same DAC as this, but I've already done a comparison between these two, and I will reiterate it later in this review about the differences. But essentially, when I first got the A90, I actually didn't buy the D90 because it was actually sold out, because back then, the D90 was made by AKM chip, and basically their factory burned down, and they weren't able to produce more, right? So then the D90se replaced the original D90 with the ES Saber DAC. So question today really is, does the D90se with the same chip as the SMSL SU-9 but at double the price sound better, right? That's the first question. And then of course, we're gonna talk about how this sounds as a whole entire package. Anyways, please like and subscribe down below. It really helps my videos out. And let's begin and let's talk about all the wonderful features that you get inside this device. All right, so let's take a close look at both of these devices. So we have the DAC above, and you can change the modes through just pushing this. It has a lot of different modes: coaxial, USB, Bluetooth. And the Bluetooth mode actually sends out LDAC, which is really nice. And I actually tried that and tested that with other devices as well. So you can check out the prior videos, I think with the BTR5 Bluetooth that I did. And that was really nice. There's options on the back that we can click to change the settings, which I can show you guys that as well. And then down below on the topping A90, we have the on and off switch is right here. On, off, to pre, which is the different modes on the out and the back. We have XLR and RCA, so balance or single-ended. And then you just have the gain. And these are all knobs, so nothing digital. So it's really easy and quick to turn on and change the knobs, which I find very useful. And yeah, so yeah, I normally just use low or medium gain. I don't really have much reason to use high. Even with the HE6, high is just like way too much power, honestly. Like you don't need it. And then of course we have the balance port, so the XLR, and then the 4.4 Pentacon. I choose to use the 4.4 most of the times, but the cable I got with my HiFiMan is a XLR cable, so I use that. And then we have the 1/4-inch jack right here, so you can run, you know, your gaming headphones or anything with the traditional plug. And then we have a nice smooth dial, which is very, very nice. Now let's take a look at the back and we can talk about what it has there. So here's the back of the device. It's pretty standard, but you have your balance ports over here. Then you got your single in RCAs over here. And then we have your IS2, optical, USB, your Bluetooth receiver, AES, and then your power cables, and then your on and off switch. So pretty standard affair and pretty useful and normal. So let's talk about how you change some of the settings on the D90 SE, which use this power button. All right, so to change the settings of the D90, you can actually turn off the device from the back, right? And then if you hold this button right here and then turn the device back on, it actually enters its setting mode. On display, on auto, your display brightness, line in, line out, and your Bluetooth mode, your filters, and stuff, and like all that items and stuff like that, right? So that's an interesting way to get to the menu. So if you didn't know that, that's how you do it. And then you can do factory reset and save and exit. So pretty standard fanfare stuff, but it's a cool option that you can kind of change this without using its controller that it comes with. So here's a controller that it comes with. It's pretty standard controller. It's made of plastic. The batteries are in the back that you can put it in, and it's nothing too fancy. You know. And of course, the A90 doesn't come with a controller because it's all switches, right? Well, this is digital, so it has a controller. All right, so let's just talk about sound of this device. So the D90 SE compared to SMSL SU-9, which uses the same saber DAC, the ES9038. And I did this comparison earlier in my other video, but essentially the D90 SE sounds a lot more detailed than SMSL SU-9. Even though this device is like $450 and this is like $900, this is definitely worth it. The D90 is noticeably sounds better than the SMSL. I couldn't even believe my ears when I listened to it, but it really does sound better. And I own this device and I don't own this device, so I would rather listen to the topping D90 SE any day of the week. So yeah, I think the D90 SE definitely lives up to its price, and the sound quality is very good, and the detail is, like I said, very, very good. And that really impressed me because I honestly thought they were going to sound very similar. The other thing I want to talk about is the topping A90, how that compares to like other amplifiers. So in general, what I find that the topping does really well, like I said, is the music is very, like people always say, it's uncolored, but I think a lot of other amplifiers may kind of roll off the treble, like it just less emphasized up there, and they do kind of different like tonal shifts, versus I don't find the topping to have any of those tonal shifts. And I think that really helps you when you're, whether you're listening to your headphones or just want to listen to your music, you just know that it's not kind of having like a beauty filter over it or beautified or anything like that. You're kind of hearing the music how it is. So I think that's really useful in just listening to music and also just like reviewing and analyzing headphones as well. I think that's just a very useful tool to have. And the one thing as well, like I said, is it has no noise floor. So I'm always like not worried when I'm listening to stuff at all. Now, the other thing the topping probably doesn't do well in is, I would say the bass of this is actually really good compared to a lot more cheaper devices. But as I've listened to more amplifiers, I feel like the bass of this doesn't sound as good as more expensive amplifiers I've heard. And that's something to consider, that, you know, you can get better bass performance elsewhere. Because I don't know, I just feel like it's slightly, I mean, people have described it as limp, and I would slightly agree that it sounds worse compared to things that are more expensive than it. But at its price, I think it does really well at $500. I mean, I can't complain because I've heard things that cheaper than this device and they didn't really sound that great. So, but yeah, my summary of this device is really the topping D90 has very much impressed me by the amount of detail it can pull out. Like, I did not believe there was like another tier above this until I actually heard it. And SMSL SU-9 is just not going to be the DAC I want to use going forward, but I gotta buy a new one, which might be this one. And then for the A90, I think the A90 is just a fantastic device. Like if you just want something that works, like I said, it just does it fantastically. It does its job really well, and it's fully balanced. There's a lot of these cheaper amplifiers that claim they're quote balanced, but like they just have like balanced output power, but they don't have the true balanced circuitry, which kind of rejects noise and actually it makes your music clearer because it has less distortion, which this is a truly balanced amplifier. So that's something you have to consider, because there's a lot of amplifiers out there that, you know, say they're balanced and they're truly not. So in conclusion, I think this is a fantastic package if you're looking for a balanced DAC and amp. I think you can't go wrong with this. I think this sounds really, really detailed and amazing. And like I said, all the connections in this device are also very versatile. And with the ability to kind of change some of the settings in the D90 as well, you can kind of change the sounds very, very slightly as well to your taste. So I think this is a very, very good package, and it can run, like I said, any device from low power to high power. That it's honestly a no-brainer. And for me, as a person who reviews headphones, this is like a dream because it works with everything I review. Anyways, please like and subscribe down below if you enjoyed this video. As always, I make more tech videos, headphone reviews, DAC amp reviews, so you guys don't want to miss out on that. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.